We are going to recap everything that I played and finished in June. Let's go.
Linda the gamer gal, she's here, she's playing games. Linda the gamer gal, she's here, she's playing games today.
Finished was Outbreak, Shades of Horror, Chromatic Split. This is a game from the recommended list. It is a horror game. It reminds me of Resident Evil meets Silent Hill. It's an independent game which has a lot of clunkiness to it, so if you're used to the old style of Resident Evil, you're gonna enjoy this one. It does have the herbs, it does have combining things, it has puzzles that are environmental puzzles, so you'll see like a safe that needs to open up to get to the next part of the area. You'll find the, like, on the ground there'll be numbers, on the wall there'll be numbers, and I had the chat help me out because I did stream this game. So thank you everybody in the chat, and thank you Chris James for recommending this game. There is moments where you have to like figure out puzzles, figure out where to go. It is difficult at the very end. I do recommend that you have patience for this game. I did finish this around 4 hours. It wasn't difficult or long. It was just one of those things where they spam a lot of the same enemies at the very end. So you're like, oh damn, I gotta run and sprint. So I just, at the very end, ran and sprint, trying to get out, because you're basically a woman who is stuck in a sewer, and it's right about before the outbreak is about to happen, so you're trying to get away from the zombie horde and find a way to get where they have notified you to go to. So you're trying to go through this sewer because it's a shortcut and you don't want to be in the city, but you end up finding out that there's zombies in the sewer, so you're trying to battle them, use what you have, your resources. It's a resource management kind of game, and just keep going through, power through. There was sections, and you could tell when you were in a new section because it'd be like, oh, let me save for a second, let me load for a second. So it's not a horrible game. It's a solid game if you're into Resident Evil. The next game that I finished was an RPG. It is Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. This is the prequel to the NES game, the first NES game that came out for Final Fantasy. And you are a group of 3 that ends up being 4, and you're the Warriors of Light, and you have to figure out how to stop chaos and all this other stuff that's happening, going on. It's exactly like the NES game, but it's Ninja Gaiden. So if you know the Team Ninja did, Ninja Gaiden Black, Ninja Gaiden, 3, stuff like that. Well, they were the ones who made this game, so if you like Devil May Cry or any action RPG that is kind of like Ninja Gaiden or Devil May Cry, if you want hack and slash, you're going to get more into this. This is more of like a dungeon crawler in a way, because it's not an open area like Final Fantasy 15. You are linear. You have a section you have to clear out and then go to the next area, section to clear out, go to the next area. And so depending on how much you want to level up, you can just avoid every enemy if you want to and go to the end. Don't recommend it because you need to pick up items as you go along. It's not like just leveling up. You need to have certain items. So like I'll recommend like having every equipment be at level 15 for this area, every equipment be level 20 for this area. And so as you're playing and you're building up your equipment and your levels and your things, you have 2 different styles you could pick. So instead of just being one type of, like, you could be like a sword fighter or an archer or whatever you want to be as a normal thing, for this one you could pick 2. So you could have one job and then switch, just like how Final Fantasy NES game, you switch from one job to the next. You could actually do it at the same time. So you could level up 2 different jobs at the same time. If you want a sword fighter and then you want a range character or you want a duelist, you could do that as well. It's your choice. You pick up characters along the way. You start off with 3 and then you start building up all the characters. It's a solid game. I like the gameplay. It's just the dialogue's a little annoying. So I'll give you a description of the dialogue. Here, you ready? Are we ready to battle? I'm not exaggerating. That is literally what they do. You'll see grunts and agreement a lot. It's just one thing that I could not understand. Like, you want me to be invested in this game and you want me to like really like this character that I'm playing, and you just see grunts and agreement a lot. He grunts a lot. He's supposed to be mysterious, but being mysterious, you can just be quiet and just nod your head if you want to. Like, grunting in an agreement is just weird to me. Especially when he's subtitled grunts and agreement. It's like when they do this, it's like, ah. Yeah, I'm not crying in Spanish, I'm just crying. But okay, we're gonna put grunts in agreement. Crying in Spanish. It's hilarious to me when they do that stuff. But yeah, solid game. I would recommend it if you are into hack and slash. If you're wanting a great, amazing story with lots of dialogue and vast things, I would say no. And just a warning, it has a brutal ending. The gauntlet of enemies is redonkulous. It's so bad as far as like you have no breaks. And exactly like how it was Tales of Arise, you have to really resource management at the very end because you need to save up everything you have. You need to level up your character all the way max to like the max you can find any equipment because that is just wild. Like it's just the best way to describe it without spoiling the game because when I played it, I was shocked at the twist in the plot, but it also was like, oh, well, that's how it's going to be because, the NES game. So if you're new to RPGs, I don't recommend this one starting off. Maybe do an action RPG that's a little bit lighter because you will be crushed at the very end. After the RPG, I decided to play a beat 'em up. This was a recommended on the stream kind of game as well. I was recommended it, but I waited until I got a physical copy, so that's why it took so long because I know the game was released earlier. And it is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. This is kind of based off of the comics. If you know the Power Ranger timeline, it's got a little bit of the story from the TV show and the first movie. Although you don't see Ivan Ooze at all, you see like references to it. I don't know if they couldn't get the license to Ivan Ooze, but they could get the license to, like the birds and different things like that. Or maybe they just didn't want to overwhelm the story with too much. But in the comics, Rita, the robot Rita, takes the timeline and kind of does like a multiverse where she goes into another timeline to try to stop the Power Rangers from defeating her and defeating Zed and all this other stuff. And so she is helping her past self to get to where they need to be able to defeat and be almighty. You also see that Green Ranger is evil. You also see that there is a lot of stuff that is different and still the same if you played like the Super Nintendo game, if you played like any of the other Power Ranger games, you got a blend that is also kind of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. It's all put together. Digital Eclipse did a great job. I enjoyed it. I liked that it was not only a beat 'em up, it was also a shooter. So you got kind of like Wild Guns a little bit in this. If you watch, like you'll see like you're on like a train or like a cart from like a roller coaster, and you're shooting the enemies, and then there's Eye Guy and different things like that. And so they took a little bit of the pattern from Eye Guy from Super Nintendo, and then they blended it, made it a little bit different. So you're not just doing the same thing. Then you also have a racing part where you have to race and shoot at the same time. Then it becomes a Zord, and then you have to battle different things like that. So it has a little bit of a pattern, but it's different and unique as a beat 'em up. I recommend it for anybody who's a Power Ranger fan, into beat 'em ups, anybody who just wants to play a. This is a short game. If you want to just do like a one and done sit down kind of thing, you can get through the game. It's about 3-4 hours. It's not that bad. If you're better at beat 'em ups, you could probably beat this in 2 hours. So highly recommend it. It's definitely worth my time. Definitely worth your time. Definitely worth anybody's time if you're into beat 'em ups. And I went to another RPG, and it's Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. This is a cute 2D game. You play as Zelda. I was starting off. I didn't play the remake of Link to the Past or stuff like that. So I really got to just dive into this world. I did play Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, so it takes a little bit of the old Zelda and then blends it in with Tears of the Kingdom. So you're Zelda, and you are seeing that the blight, like the void, is taking over your land, and you see some purple stuff, and you see Link get captured into a crystal and taken away into the void. And you're like, oh no, what's going to happen? What's going on? So you're trying to figure out, as you're trying to figure out what to do, the void takes over your father, and he makes you an enemy, a target, and now you're going to be captured, and you're trying to get away from that. So you're like, okay, I need to get away. I need to find people to help me. I need to get everybody from all over the lands. It's exactly like Tears of the Kingdom, but she uses magic this time. So you'll like get an echo, and it's basically you'll copy an enemy or copy an item, and the UI is very tedious. It's a good game. It's just I wish they had put like besides favorites, but just put like a better sorting system, because I tried every type of sorting system and it was just like, you know what? I just went with last used because there was no way I was gonna get through this. Like it's so tedious and monotonous just to go through and go like, oh, stop. I have to go like it makes boss battles kind of annoying because I'm used to just like getting like a quick like ready, this is this and this, and just keep battling. Like keep going. But no, like you have to stop. Okay. I found the one I want to use. Go. And so like you lose the like kind of like when you're playing and you have no breather, no break, you kind of lose the like fear factor of a boss if you're like I can stop and pause and look for this, and you get annoyed, and then you spam so many good enemies that eventually the boss is easier. This game is a lot easier than Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. Those two I finished. So Breath of the Wild I finished in 40 hours. Tears of the Kingdom I finished in like 70 something hours, I think. Yeah. This one I finished in about 30 something hours, I think. 30 or 40 hours, if I remember correctly. And I didn't perish as much as the other games. Like I literally would keep like, oh, you see that end game screen and you'd be like, okay, start over again. And the checkpoints were very forgiving. Most of the time for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, if you didn't make it through whatever section, you had to start from the very beginning most of the time. And with this one, none of the time do you start from the very beginning. Like it's very rare do you start from the beginning at all. Like if you make it to a certain point and you see a little spindle thing happen, you're not going to go back to the beginning of the dungeon or anything. And I enjoyed the story. The little guy, he talks a lot though. A little too much. Like the dialogue is like, here, let's do this, here, let's do that. And it's like, it's cute. Like at points I'm like, oh, it's so cute. I enjoyed the little guy. But then there's points where I'm like, I already figured it out before you were even telling me, bro. Can I just skip? Oh, I'm skipping. Oh, I gotta skip again. I gotta skip again. I was skipping a lot of it because I kind of like figured it out before the game even told me how to do stuff. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna go do it because I kind of stopped watching people stream it after a little bit. So if you like RPGs that are quick and easy, this is another one that I recommend. This is an easier one to get through and like start building your base up of RPGs. And the last game that I finished literally hours ago, like I stayed up until like 11 o'clock at night to finish this game, was Cyberpunk 2077. I know, 3 RPGs in 1 month, but a couple of the RPGs were not that long. Like I finished in like 20 something hours, like 24 hours for this one as well. If you stick to just the main storyline, you're probably going to finish it in like 20 hours. So you are V, whoever character, how you make V. You are basically a runner or like a transporter, kind of like, you know, like James Staten, that kind of movie style. You transport goods, you transport people, you go get things for people, and you just take a job wherever you can just to survive in the city. You're in Night City. It's kind of like New York. It's very, very crowded, very busy. Everybody is kind of like GTA meets Cyberpunk, where you run around and you're trying to just do a job here and there, and you have your buddy Jackie, and you finally get a really big job. It's a client that wants something that is not great to get, and the job goes south, and you realize it is Arasaka. Arasaka is one of the heavy hitter people in the company. Is kind of like, you just realize, oh snap, like this is kind of like a mission that could lead me to being, and so you decide, okay, I'm gonna do it anyway because I need the money, it's gonna pay really well, and then I could just not take a job for a long time. But you witness something that is horrific because you're like, oh no, and you end up, the guy who you work for ends up just taking you out because he's like, you shouldn't have done this job. Like, the way you did it and how it's going to go, Like, I'm just gonna off you because you know what? I don't want Arasaka to come at me. So you're like, okay, I'm done. And you wake up kind of like Detroit Becomes Human. You end up in the junkyard and you're like, oh, well, I'm alive. Let me get going. So you get where you're going, and one of the guys from the Arasaka group helps you get you back to where you need to go. And you're like, okay, let me just go. And you end up going through everything as best as possible. You can do side missions. I did do side missions, and I'm grateful that I did. But a lot of it I did the main mission, and then I was like, you know what? I'm kind of like wanting to slowly see more of the city. And there's just so much to do in this game. It's ridiculous how much it is. And it's in the good way. Like, you can do stuff for the cops. You can do stuff for, the other side people that are kind of like networkers, runners themselves, but they can't do this job because it's not up their alley. So they're like, hey, I'll give it to you and I'll take a cut. And I really dug the story. The only thing that, again, I'm glad I did the side missions because I looked up at, like, that's why I stood up so long. Like, I was like, oh, let me see what the other stuff was, because I picked a side mission to do and I picked another side mission to do. And I'm grateful because I was a nomad. I know there's multiple different things you can be. And I ended up going with Pan Am. If you played the game before, there is a group of people that you can leave the city. There's kind of like different options. Like, you don't know what you want to do because you're being targeted by Asaka and you want to confront Asaka, but you're not sure where you want to go. So you're like, do I want to defend the group, go after this group, do another thing, or leave the city altogether? So there's so many options you can do, and I'm not trying to spoil the game, so I'm like, I'm grateful that I got Pan Am's storyline. I finished Pan Am and Judy's storyline because I didn't do at all the cops missions, so I didn't see any of the other characters. But I was like, okay, I got Judy and Pan Am, and in my opinion, the ending I got was very good. Like, for the outcome that you're gonna get, no matter what you get, I like the outcome that I got. In my opinion, that's the best ending. I know there's a secret ending, but I don't think I would ever try that secret ending. You literally need to be like a high level, because I was like, oof. And I don't know if I'll pay up or pay for Phantom Liberty. I think I got my fix of Cyberpunk because I had glitches a lot. I had, so there was a time where 2 missions started at the same time. I kept having this issue where if I talked to somebody, answered a phone call, or did anything, it would automatically ping to that mission, whatever that was, even though I wasn't in the other mission going and doing that, which was fine because then I would just go into my journal, turn it off, put the other one back on, and go, okay, let me go back and do about my thing. But then it would happen again. And I'm like, okay, and it kept going, and it kept doing it, and then one time it like pinged both of them at the same time. And it was weird to hear 2 different characters doing dialogue. So I had to restart from a previous back and redo the mission. And then another time I had a saving issue. So I would see the little spin thing, it would spin and say it's saving on the screen. And sometimes it would take forever, but I was like, okay, it's finally saved. This time I was watching it and I'm doing the mission. I'm like, okay, it's eventually going to save. Eventually it's going to save. Okay, well, let me try to do a manual save. It won't let me do a manual save. It's freaking out. It's just stuck on save. And I waited like 15 minutes because I did another mission. I had to redo a mission, a job again. And it was a little annoying because I was like, oh, that was a difficult one too. I was like, man, I'm going to have to do this again. So if the glitches weren't there, it would be a 10 out of 10 game. If the ending that I got was a different ending, I don't think it would. I'd probably be like a 8 or 7. So the ending I got, the storyline I got, 9 out of 10. It was a good game. I don't know if everybody has the same issues with the glitches and everything like that. I know it was a buggy mess when it launched, and I'm grateful that they did patches and that they worked on it because the TV show really escalated the popularity of the game, made it an awesome stuff. and everybody started doing that again. But yeah, I like the game. I recommend the game. I will say if you're really into GTA, this is a different type of game, but it still reminded me a lot of GTA. Like, it's so open world, kind of like Witcher 3, but meets GTA. Such a fun game. I would say yes to it if you're into open world. You don't even notice it's an RPG half the time because you're like, oh, just level up the character, level up this, level up that. Just like Horizon Forbidden West or, Zero Dawn, those type of games where you're just playing the game, you're just thinking it's an action game, and you're like, oh, there's RPGs stuff going on. Okay, cool. So, highly recommend. I know I was rambling, but it's one of those games where it's kind of hard to describe. So, yeah, definitely worth your time. So, I am playing a lot of games. I added a lot of the games to my list. I am playing still Tekken versus Street Fighter. 3 RPGs in 1 month. I was sporadically sprinkling, Tekken versus Street Fighter in there. I did at the very end play Doom 2. I am enjoying this. It's an awesome shooter. It's definitely going to be a game that I'll finish. I just don't know when. With it being cryptic a little bit, like, that's the only thing that's going to be the puzzle aspect is what's going to stop me from just going through it really fast. I also am going to play Doom the Dark Ages. Actually, at last day of June. So yeah, this is gonna be like, I'm filming this last day, and it's gonna be, so I'm gonna add that too. I'm playing Doom Dark Ages. I did play a little bit just to pick it up and figure out the tutorial first, like, chapter, because I heard that they did the shield, and the shield is a lot different from Doom 2016 or Doom in general. Like, you have a little bit of a parry system and you can crush people. So Doom 2 and Doom Dark Ages, I'm enjoying anything Doom. It was great games. Definitely recommend them for sure. I'm also playing a dungeon crawler called Dungeons of Sidarnia. I'm hoping that's how you say it. This is a fun dungeon crawler. It reminds me a lot of like the old dungeon crawlers from back in the day. You can pick any character and you can play co-op. I haven't played co-op yet, but I did go through the first dungeon. I'm currently trying to work through the second dungeon, but I got stuck. It's a little glitchy. There is a moment where I'm that type of player where I will look everywhere. If you're giving me a dungeon crawler, I'll look at all of the dungeon. And I don't think they realized that I was going to do that, because I went and looked outside and I saw like a little cave cavern, and I looked up and there was the map like exposed, and I was like, I guess they don't think people are going to look up. I think they think people are going to look down and then see the void and then walk away. No, I was exploring and I was looking at everything. Got a little bit of a glitch to it as far as like a lot of the characters, they ragdoll really bad to where they're like floating in the air and ragdolling everywhere. And so I made a short about that because I was like, this is hilarious. Solid game though. If you're into dungeon crawlers, this might be a game for you. I don't know when I'm going to finish this either. This is going to probably take me a minute because leveling up and different things like that is going to be one of those, like, I don't even know if there's an ending. I'm going to count the ending if there's only like the last dungeon and that's it. Like, I'm going to call it. I'm still playing Balatro, and I did finally finish a run. I'm so happy about that. Like, I was one of those people that like, I was like, it's going to be one of those games where I'm like, drink a beer, play a game. Tetris 99. If you know, you know. And if anybody is in the chat or comment section knows who that is, can you shoot them a line and say, hey, Linda's got a game that's just like your Tetris 99. And they're gonna be like, damn it, Linda. So yeah, I finally finished a run. I'm so excited about that. That took me a long time. I'm gonna keep going through and try to get every single deck, every single joker, every single item. I don't know if I'll ever platinum the game, but once I collect everything, I'm gonna count that as a finish, and then it's done. I did forget about Skyrim, Elder Scrolls 5. I was playing that and I didn't drop it, but I completely forgot to add it to the last month because I technically started that and then never finished it. So I got stuck on a mission where you have to like infiltrate like a castle or something like that, and I could not figure out how to give the guy the items. they're like, oh, you can just go find items. And I couldn't, after trying twice or 3 times, I was like, I'm stuck. So I don't know if I'll restart it or if I will just try a different mission or try a different thing. But I'm having fun with it. It's just, I don't know when Skyrim's going to be done as well. Probably one of those games where I'm going to play for a long time just because there's so much to do. Again, another RPG is Dismantle. I'm also playing this, and I don't know when I'm going to finish it. It's another game that is kind of like a roguelite meets RPG meets open world, where you have to get off an island. You are a guy just destroying things, and you're trying to use the materials to build other stuff. I'm at the point where you're trying to figure out how to get to a western or eastern part. I can't remember which direction it was, to open up that gate. And so once I get that done, hopefully I'll finish that. But yeah, that's pretty good. I don't know if I'll ever get to the end on that one as well. It probably won't happen anytime soon, just because, again, these are all like really lengthy RPGs, and I'm trying to get through the shorter RPGs for my 12 RPG challenge, so we'll see what happens on that one. So the 2 games that I'm going to drop are Crime Boss, Raqqa City. And the reason why I like the game, it got a little tedious and time consuming as well. It's one of those things where I'm playing already Balatro, or Balatro, however you say it, and that game takes up a lot of time. So I don't want another roguelite. Those type of games I keep putting to the side and playing like later, and it's gonna happen again and again and again because it got tedious a little bit. But every time I lose, I have to start over again, and I'm like, I don't like losing progress. This is why I don't play Soul-like games. Souls-like games just crush my soul, crush everything in my gaming spirit. I just put them down. So yeah, that was the first one. And then Earth Marines, I'm putting that one down as well, just because, again, it's just taking so much time. The last level is just also crushing my spirit because of that reason being I get stuck in a wall, I get stuck somewhere, and it's a one and done kind of thing. It's a roguelike kind of game where you have to finish everything in the first try. And I'm like, ugh, great. So those are the 2 games that I'm going to say no to for right now. And I don't say I'm going to drop them 100%. I just don't know when I'm going to pick them up again. And that's June. That was my recap. Let me know, what was your highlights for June? Did you have anything that you liked? Was there anything that you recommend? If you do have any recommendations, you can put them in the comments or Instagram or in the chat for my live streams. I take a look at all of them and I add them to the list. Not sure when they're going to be added to the list because it's first come, first serve kind of style. If you're new, please consider subscribing. Giving a like before you roll out does help out the algorithm. And consider joining the channel. Your membership will be adding to the funds for recommended games. If you are not sure, you can always check out a couple other videos, and I will catch y'all next time. Happy gaming, everybody. Keep on gaming! Whatever game, whatever level, you are a gamer.
She's playing on all night, from vintage to modern, she's the queen of the fight. From in San Diego, the Grand Theft Auto streets, Oregon Trail to Oregon Trail, she's got the beats. Stand back, she's got the dingy in hand with VHS recording, she's in command. From 8-bit wonders to the latest craze, Linda, the gamer gal, she's here to